integral of x cubed times the square root of 16 minus x squared dx. We'll start by saying let x be 4 cosine theta, then dx becomes 4 minus 4 sine theta d theta. Okay. Also, if you calculate 16 minus x squared, it gives you 16 minus 4 cosine theta squared, quantity squared. This gives you 16 minus 16 cosine squared theta, which is 16 times 1 minus cosine squared theta, which equals 16 sine squared theta. Let's put that here. 16 sine squared theta. So, taking the square root of 16 minus x squared is the same thing as taking the square root of 16 sine squared theta, which gives us 4 sine theta. I will use that later, so I'm going to save it. Okay. Now, let's put this together. So I have x is 4 cosine theta. Now let's take the cube times the square root of 16 minus x squared. We already figured that. That gives us 4 sine theta. Dx is minus 4 sine theta d theta. So that gives me 4 cubed times 4 times 4. Turns out to be 1024. That's 2 squared to the 5th. This is 2 to the power of 10, so that's 1024. So that times cos cubed theta sine squared theta d theta. I have an odd power of cosine, so I'm going to write it as cosine squared theta sine squared theta cosine theta d theta. So I'll change this to 1 minus sine squared theta, and that will give me 1 minus sine squared theta times sine squared theta cosine theta d theta. Now I'll let u equals sine theta. This gives me du equals cos theta d theta, which means that this is du, this is u, this is u. So putting all of them in place will give me 1024, 1 minus u squared du. This is 1024 u squared e to the 4th du. Integrate gives u to the 3rd over 3 minus u to the 5th over 5 plus c. This gives you minus 1024 u to the 3rd. U is sine theta, sine cubed theta over 3 minus plus 1024 over 5. U to the 5th is sine to the 5th theta plus c. Now I'm going to need the value of sine theta. Well, here I save this, and if you translate that says sine theta equals the square root of 16 minus x squared over 4. So I'm going to stick that in for sine theta. So I'll put this. So that gives me 1024 over 5, the square root of 16 minus x squared to the fifth over 4 to the fifth. If you remember, that was 4 to the fifth. That gave us 1024. Minus 1024 over 3 square root of 16 minus x squared to the thirds over 4 to the thirds. So 4 to the thirds and 4 to the fifth plus c. So 4 to the thirds and 4 to the fifth kind of cancel. That gives me 1/5 the square root of 16 minus x squared to the fifth minus, so if you cancel those, that gives me 4 squared. 4 squared is 16. 16 minus x squared cubed plus c, and I'm done. That's the integral.